you guys know, heirlooms cost about 16,000 Apex coins, but there's a way that you can get it just by playing Apex. And it's with Z League, which is a skill-based tournament platform where you can compete against others around your skill level. So it doesn't matter if you got a 0.3 KD or 6.0 KD. You still got an equal chance of winning the grand prize. And it all begins after you sign up with the link down in the description below. And you'll even get a free 500 point bonus here to help you get into your first big money tournament. So if you guys like competing, which I know you do because we do it all the time on my stream, you can join now and thank me later. Such a practical sponsor. Thank you so much, Z League, for sponsoring this video. Comment down below how long you've been playing Apex and how many heirlooms you have in the game. I'm interested to see who's the longest person without any heirlooms in the game. Today, we're talking about the skill-based matchmaking in Apex Legends, and could it possibly be changed in this season 15 update? I know many of you probably wanted to after I've been seeing this crazy influx of people saying that they're quitting Apex until they fix the matchmaking. But we're also not discussing only the matchmaking. We're also talking about some of the teasers and the dates of which things will be released, even some of the trailers, the gameplay trailers. So all of that and much more in today's video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new as always, comment down below. 5,000 Apex coin giveaway as always. The winner from last video is down in the pinned comment below. Don't fall for the Telegram bot because they are a scam and it's not me. About 2 weeks ago, I made a video regarding skill-based matchmaking and how I was speaking to a developer and asking some questions, and he was actually answering a lot of my questions when it came to the idea and thought process of skill-based matchmaking and how it works actually in Apex Legends. And many of you actually got very, very responsive on that video, basically expressing your concerns about, I cannot believe that it works like this. I can't believe that he admitted it works like this, or I can't believe they said that this is involved. And at the time of making the video, I wasn't really thinking about any of that. I was just trying to relay information that I had found. So when I went back and watched it today, I realized that I actually missed a lot of information to give you guys. Conversations I wish I would have had in that video, so that's why I'm bringing it for you today. The biggest thing to draw away from this is I did not realize or even pick up on the fact that he actually explained to me that skill-based matchmaking is always changing. A lot of people in Apex for quite some time have been frustrated because they feel like they're constantly being put into a lobby that is not their skill-based. They're putting into a lobby that's maybe too sweaty, maybe their teammates are not good enough, but they're playing against very high level teammates, and you would actually think that if you're going to play someone your skill level, maybe you'll have someone your skill level on your team, or if you're going to play someone who's really high ranked, maybe you'll have some really high ranked on your team. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working that way. From most of what I see, I get a lot of pictures and videos of you guys sending into me where basically like you're going up against Apex Predators and Masters, and then you're not only getting other fellow plat teammates, but sometimes you're even getting like silver and bronze teammates. We even talked the other day about that TikTok that went viral of a level 14 complaining in the chat saying, why am I in your game, to an Apex Predator who was live streaming. So there's no doubt that the matchmaking is weird, but why does this happen? Well, we actually got confirmation during this conversation on that video that I made that the skill-based matchmaking is changing. In fact, it's changing all of the time, and some of you expressed your concerns in that comment section saying that you're actually aggravated at some of the data that it uses to change. So for instance, in this conversation that I had with this developer, he expressed that there was different priorities. So when I asked him at one point, I said, why do my matches feel better or easier sometimes whenever I switch controller inputs? Like sometimes I use mouse and keyboard, sometimes I just want to relax and have a good time, and I'm not as good on the controller, so I'll pull out the controller and have a good time, and the games oddly get easier. Why is that? And he responded, I don't know how I missed out on this. He says it depends on the specific details of the matchmaking system, and to add to that, I would say at that time. Sometimes he said it may give you matches which are based on various quality levels to increase overall engagement, and other times it may give you matches that are based on the evaluation of recent performance slash skill versus your historical. So insinuating that the priority that the matchmaking has is always evolving or maybe updating itself to change specifically for you. But remember that word priority, because we're about to mention some other things that this Respawn developer spoke about when it comes to priorities that the matchmaking has in order to get what they have deemed a fair match. So he said one of the things he would like to do is show the fairness of any given match comes down to more factors and are way more complex than just simply MMR, and how latency actually and individual player behavior and other factors are also considered in the matchmaking process. And so there are so many different forms of matchmaking out there, and it turns out it's always changing. It's never really the same, because the way it sounds is sometimes it's very weighted on certain things and maybe not so weighted on other things. The next game it could be weighted on the complete opposite thing. One day it may completely be MMR related, the next day it might be latency related, the next day it might be behavior related. Some days it may try to get you in a match with fellow gold players, the other day it might try to get you in a match with fellow people who like to camp, or maybe fellow people who like to be very aggressive. It's very obvious that they have different priorities that they use to determine which matchmaking they have concluded to be fair for you. But I think a lot of Apex fans have definitely been under the impression, at least as of late, that the skill-based matchmaking is probably set in stone and operates the same way each and every day and maybe even every match. But a lot of the things that he said so far and some of the things he's about to say conclude the fact that these actually are changing all the time. But there is still some good news about some tweaks and changes to the skill-based matchmaking, which I'll get at in just a second. So someone did ask the question basically saying, in social modes, should there be a no MMR situation so that you can just go around and mess around? And he responded and said, in principle, you would think so. You would think that that's how it works, but it actually doesn't work that way, because all you're going to do is force a new optimized matchmaking that is going to prioritize latency. Saying, do you want every game that you play to be against Crack Timmy down the street just because you have the same ping on their servers? And also saying just removing it entirely from the situation is actually going to make things worse, not necessarily better or more random like you would think. You're just going to be optimized off of a different set of variables and getting outcomes based on those. The good news is he did say matchmaking experiences could be improved with various tweaks / changes based on the specific game / mode. So I'm glad that he does agree that maybe it's not a perfect system, maybe it does need some updating. Could we receive any type of updating or slight adjustments in season 15? The problem is they're never ever going to probably make a post about it or say we've made an update to skill-based matchmaking, because it's so more complex than just simply, hey, we turned it down a little bit. It doesn't work that way. He said it's complicated to scale in live service, requiring new content to come with matchmaking optimizations for it makes everything take longer / require more testing. So I would assume a lot of the testing that they do is behind closed doors and probably going on in your matches, and you never even know about them. You just might randomly realize, hey, today's game was a lot easier, or hey, I got 10 straight wins today, or you might notice the next day you got 80 straight losses. But it won't be a situation where they come out and say, hey, we have changed the matchmaking for season 15, you can expect easier games, or it's going to work like this now. They're never going to be that transparent with it. But it is nice to know that he said that it could use some tweaks, and it would be very nice to see them actually make those tweaks in this next season. Like I said, you're just not going to get an announcement from them. But for whatever reason, when I read all of these in a previous video, I totally missed the fact that he actually explained to us that matchmaking is changing all the time, and the way that it prioritizes things is always changing. So I saw a lot of you pointing that out in the comments, saying that this is the first time that you've heard or understood that matchmaking is always changing, or maybe that they're actually giving different priorities per game, maybe per day, maybe per week, maybe per season. I'm not sure how I missed it the first time I read that, but I'm glad you guys gave me the feedback. Also, I want to mention Tyler Owens is an absolute GOAT over at Respawn. No other developer is giving this type of communication when it comes to the matchmaking. He also said in the previous video I made that a lot of people don't come out and say anything about it because they know they're going to put a public target on their back. A lot of the crazy community members will constantly attack them for it. So thank you guys for being cordial and civil about it and not attacking Tyler. Tyler's a great guy. Make sure to go show him some love. Hopefully we do see some of those tweaks in season 15. And speaking of season 15, many of you have been asking me about the release dates of certain trailers, of certain events and teasers. So I want to go over those really quickly because we do have some good guesstimates of dates. So if you want to write these in a notepad to yourself or put it in your Discord, go for it. We are now officially in the season of teasers when it comes to this upcoming season 15, according to Crowdrendo, saying that the teaser season has been started. As a note, the first in-game teaser starts on October the 11th, and we'll share more info, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be something along the lines of a golden ticket, something to do with a replicator, and you got to have that golden ticket to go take a tour of the new map. So that final part of that teaser should be available a few days later, but most likely October the 19th, according to someone who leaks. He also said that the catalyst story of the Outland should be on October the 17th, the teaser finale on the 19th, the launch trailer on the 20th, and then maybe the gameplay trailer on the 24th. We'll be talking about some more things like Meet the Legend trailers and the Battle Pass trailers as they approach. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. As always, comment down below for a chance to win that 5,000 Apex coins. As always, I will see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. It's Vibe or Die, only positivity. And until the next time, I'll see you later, Gators.